It is the Gerrit Ritt Show. He did it. He made it. He's above ground. I promised him on his birthday that if he made it and remained above ground, he could once again sit in this seat and host the program, and he's here, and he did.
You.
And we're ready to roll. Hey, Rome, in honor of Gerrit Ritt Day, can we start the show with a diabetes?
Diabetes, 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 diabetes.
There's your diabetes.
Diabetes.
War Ritt opening his segment by swaying to the smooth sounds of Afternoon Delight and interviewing Christopher Cross. Jim and San Clemente, the truth is I have no idea what this guy's going to do. I know he's going to do damage, and not in a good way. But we have not talked about it. I have not sat with him. That's kind of part of the deal, too. Our deal is if you are still above ground on October 14th, you can have a segment. The other part of our deal is I do not discuss with him what he's doing for two reasons. It's his deal. And number two, I don't want to know. That way I've got like plausible deniability. I didn't know. He didn't tell me. Rome, good show, dude. The jungle equivalent of TNF is about to happen. It's 10:14, and you are giving Gerrit a segment. I will be taking a 14-minute car nap during his segment. He's going to muff the whole thing.
Muff.
Thanks. Sign court. We'll see. Rome, I am a wine industry outside sales rep. Because of my job, I listen to the show via terrestrial radio. However, today, much like the Smack Off, I have the DVR set to record this glorious train wreck. I cannot miss seeing that Swiss Miss-loving, yacht rock bumping ex-president getting loose while regaling us with tales from the Cold War. War outside sales being more of a sweat than a six-game parlay. Joel H. in the 805. Every bit of that is true. That is a great submission. That's all true. Gerrit Ritt is on the clock. 365 days we have been waiting for this moment. Again, we share the same birthday. Very unusual. Even more unusual is he looks exactly like Dwight Eisenhower, who also shares the same birthday. Put it all together, and what do you have? A segment hosted by Gerrit Ritt. And I have no idea what's coming. I know it's going to suck. I know I'm going to have to explain it to the suits somehow, some way. But we have a deal, Ritt and I. He's still alive. He's above ground. It will be his show in less than 10 minutes. Hey, does TV have any video of Ritt climbing up on that ledge and lying down for that photo like it's some sort of old man porn shoot? This I got to see. Look at it. All right, so there's no sound. If you're watching CBS Sports Network, and I am, would you look at this dude? Ritt, the hell are you doing or thinking lying down underneath my sign? And I know nobody put you up to that. I know you did that on your own. Who else would think of anything that stupid? If you saw the video, you know exactly what I'm talking about, man. This dude. It is time. A year to the date, Gerrit Ritt takes over the show. He and I switch seats. That's coming up next, and I have no idea what to expect.
If you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion sits?
Live from Southern California, this is the Gerrit Ritt Show on CBS Sports Radio.
Thank you, Taco. And yes, I made it. We're back, baby. Woo! Another 365 days in the books. Welcome back to the most badass once a year 15-minute show in the history of media. I challenge you to find another show that's able to pack as much gold in a one singular 15-minute block. It's not easy to do. In fact, it's probably impossible to do. But that's what the Gerrit Ritt Show is all about. It's one of one, and it's back for one day and one day only. And today I've got even more gold than usual. As you might know, I'm actually sitting in Jim's seat today, which has not happened the last 2 years. The last 2 years, I've been on the side over there. So today, I'm actually seeing everybody, and I gotta say, it's kind of terrifying, but we're gonna make it work. But no, I got a bunch of show happening going on today, and there's no Thomas Dolby. Sorry to say ahead of time. He's not making his triumphant return. And I highly doubt we'll be taking any phone calls from Ambi or anyone else like that. Sorry, we just had Paul's dog, and Mark, thanks. Testicle head, that was funny. Appreciate that. But I am going to break some serious news in this segment, and I'm going to give you all exactly what you've been begging for the last 365 days. And of course, that's more of me. In fact, this entire segment's going to be about me, for better or worse. There may be some sports thrown in there. I mean, a little bit, little droplets here and there. And there'll definitely be plenty of strategically placed sound drops from Alvin. But perhaps, potentially, a surprise guest. We may get that a little bit later. And spoiler alert, there's going to be a huge block about my pimp of a boss back there. So more on that soon enough, and apologies ahead of time. With that said, though, no need to mess around any longer and bury the lead. I promise you breaking news, so it's time for me to deliver. Alvy, please. From my very first day on this show almost 4 years ago, hell, within the first couple segments, you guys have been noticing me back there in the XR4 Ti. You've been calling me old man. You've glossing me Ike, because apparently I have the spitting image of a 130-year-old dead president. But I'm not going to dance around it anymore. I'm going to give it exactly what you want, what you've been begging for since the day one of the Ike experience. Because the truth is, as of today, I am old. I mean, as in officially old. Today, I am officially eligible to get 10% off at Krispy Kreme, Steak and Shake, and Outback Steakhouse anytime I walk in the damn door. This is a true story. And today I can officially register to be a member of the AARP. That is also a true story, because today your boy Ike takes off this glorious Charlotte 49ers jersey, says goodbye to 49, and welcomes 50. Yay! 50 years old, baby. I'm sorry if that took a little bit of mystery out of it all for some of you. There it is, but there it is, man. Halfway to 100, baby. Halfway to 100. And I just take a second to soak it all in, and gotta say, doesn't feel nearly as bad. You know, 30 and 40 kind of sucked, I'm not gonna lie, but 50 is okay, at least so far. So I would say, you know, now that I'm halfway to 100, I would say I'm only halfway through life, but given my strict diet of Taco Bell, Rice Krispie treats, Swiss Miss, and Dr. Peppers, I know all of you are thinking that me just getting through the weekend would be a win, much less hitting triple digits. But the truth is, it's dudes like me who end up living to $1.20, while all you health nuts out there are drinking protein shakes and chugging fish oil, eating power bars and, I don't know, maybe vegetables here and there. You all end up keeling over from acute vangina in your late 30s. So you better get used to me, because I don't plan on going anywhere. So there you go. It's out there. Go crazy with it. I'd expect nothing less, but that's just the tip of the iceberg today, because now we're going to get into it. I pretty much was forced to let that cat out of the bag before I introduce this next topic, which brings me now to everyone's favorite segment of the Gerrit Ritt Show, Story Time with Ike. And here it goes. I apologize ahead of time, but today's story does not include Garth Brooks. It does not include Bruno Mars or even Steph Curry in Zone 3.
I'd like to take this chance to apologize.
Rather, it starts with an email I got a couple of weeks ago from a guy I used to work with way back in my days at Charlotte. So you do the math. You now know my age. You got to believe that a few of you can figure out how old it's been, since long it's been since I graduated summa cum last in my class over there, having the best 5.5 years of my life. So my guy, Mark Cologne, back there, he was the athletic director, or one of the athletic directors back then. He's the huge in that athletic department. He's even bigger now. He's a legend. He sends me a previously unearthed article that I wrote for the Charlotte school paper called the University Times. This is going somewhere, I promise. This was 28 years ago that I wrote this article. 28 years. And that, which, I mean, seriously, other than me, who the hell is keeping articles of mine from 28 years ago that I wrote in college? That is some serious stalker type stuff right there. But somebody did. Cologne found it, so it's out there. And dare I say, it's pretty scandalous. Honestly, it's going to be pretty embarrassing for me to bring this up. But if it's out there, you know how it works. Someone's going to find it, which just happened. Someone's going to out me. Someone's going to post this thing on social. Next thing you know, I'm going viral for all the wrong reasons. So I felt like I had no choice but to get this out ahead of this thing now. So I'm going to be the one to break this before anybody else does. So brace yourself, because here we go. The title of this 28-year-old unpaid amateur college article reads, Does the sports media go too far in interviews? And it's dated April 21st, 1994, with the byline, Gerrit Ritt, Times assistant sports editor. Now, I don't know if you need, I don't need to tell you and give you a refresher course about just what went down 15 days prior to that on April 6th, 1994. But if you do need a refresher, I'll let my lead paragraph of this article do the work for me. Quote, athletes and the sports media have forever had a somewhat tenuous relationship. That relationship took another shot in the foot when newly acquired Saints quarterback Jim Everett had a not-so-friendly encounter with ESPN2 talk show host Jim Rome a couple weeks ago. Boom, baby. Bomb. I believe you can probably imagine what I was thinking when I saw this article 28 years later drop in my email box. But I can see where you may hear that and think, dude, you work for the guy that you wrote an article about 28 years ago, and you're holding this info until now? I mean, you've been here 4 years. This can't possibly be real. It's a joke. This whole segment's BS. And I got to say, that's probably fair. It's a fair criticism, I guess. But you'd be wrong. Because I, as Bob Sala says, have the receipts. This article is 100% real. In fact, I'm holding the article right now in my hands. You guys may not be able to see it if you're not watching on CBS Sports Network. But cut straight from the newspaper article in my school newspaper 28 years ago, I went and dug in my old archives at home, and boom, there it was, mint condition, since I haven't touched the thing in almost 3 decades. So, trust me, this is 100% dangerous for me to be talking about this out loud, especially with a certain tan smack me in my damn face sitting within striking distance of me right now. So, but if you really think that I hatched a plan 28 years ago to torch the biggest name in sports media in between fraternity parties and winning multiple intramural ping pong championships, true story, in the hopes that one day, years later, I'd move 3,000 miles away, biding my time for 15 more radio years, which are way longer than any other kind of years, just to get myself into the perfect position to perhaps get hired as a low man on the Jim Rome totem pole in my 40s? Well, then you're giving me way too much damn credit. I mean, talk about playing the long game. Okay, well, of course, this article gets nothing but more and more cringy with each and every graph, but you want to talk about cringe? I got some, because after that, I found some way to compare Everett to both Bobby Bonilla and Ray Handley, of all people. And then I was given some more deep thoughts about the role of the media. Quote, the media has an important position in the sports world, and they are abusing that power. Oops. It's not a problem when they want to report on the games, the players, or newsworthy events. The problem occurs when they attempt to become a reason for the news themselves, as in the Everett Rome case. Damn. I mean, will you check out the cojones on this dude saying that right now? I mean, I don't know what's more hilarious. The 21-year-old assistant sports editor at the Charlotte school newspaper having all the answers to the future of sports media, or that same 21-year-old somehow was just taking the first step of his 25-year master plan to one day rain terror upon his future boss as a member of his staff, knowing full well that Jim would put me on the air 15 minutes every year for me to have the platform to even bring this up. So yeah, I guess that makes sense. In the sense that it could make sense. I mean, I was spitting takes for days back in the 1990s, so just like he was. So I guess we're probably made for each other in some weird kind of way. But hell, I'm going to continue. I know it's probably against my better judgment, but let's keep Operation Career Tank Job going. Quote, Mr. Rome decided to take his interview with Everett a little bit too far, and because of that, it'll probably end up hurting Everett's reputation. Moreover, it'll likely improve Rome's. End of story. Boom! Nailed it! I think it's safe to say that our boy Chris Everett's career was never the same, and even safer to say that Jim kind of came out of this okay. My man Lil Romeo is up there in the booth still killing it after 28 years, and without him and the power of the October 14th Mafia, I wouldn't be here today. So, here's to Jim yet again for letting me spit fire on our birthday for the third straight year. I know he can't stand hearing this, but a very happy 58th to you, sir. It's online. I can't hide it. It's there. And a happy birthday to all my other October 14ers out there, including a very special guest. We only got a minute, but he has a very special message for us today, and you may know him as Brick on General Hospital, but I know him because, of course, I'm Ike. I know everybody. New York, hit this.
My brother, what's going on, my man? I hear somebody's birthday today. That ain't me. That would be you, my man. I just wanted to reach out to say happy birthday. It's been a long time since I've seen you, but I watch you every chance I get. I listen to you every chance I get. I always appreciate you. I always love you. You've always been good to me. I'm going to always be good to you. You're my brother, my Libra brother. Same day in the whole bit. See how greatness happens? It started with you, and it ends with you too, my man. Always. Happy birthday.
Dude, Stephen A. giving me all kinds of love right there. Dude, how about that? It started with me. It ends with me. Off, man. Say happy birthday. Wait, you think that was for Jim? Come on now. I hooked that up. All right, fine. Thank you, though, Stephen A. That was awesome of you. That guy did that during his show this morning, in between commercials on First Take. So thanks so much for Stephen A. for pulling that off. You are a champion, and a huge thanks to everybody else for giving my third year behind the seat. Of Craig Kitchen, Alvy, Chalk, Big Head, of course, Jim, everyone here, Cindy for making me look good today, and for the 50th birthday cake out there. Sharon, Nate, Dave, Jake, Einer, Ben, Stu, the rest of the crew, all you guys for making me look good. And thanks to all you clones, too, all the fans of the show for being so cool to me over these last 4+ years in the jungle. So that's my time for this year. Of course, will there be a Gerrit Ritt show next year? I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I am a little worried because it just so happens that October 14th next year, 2023, falls on a Saturday. As our man Weber might say, a Saturday. So who knows what'll happen. All I know is, though, that I'm out of here today, baby. Straight into the car and heading straight for a 3-day resort-filled week of bourbon, golf, and dinners being bought and paid for by someone other than me. So thanks again, everyone. And now finally, not a minute too soon, to the legend that's been waiting for me all day, my man, Rich Smackerman. Rich, take the update, baby.
Sports Flash.
On the clock. Happy birthday, old man. The Yankees.
Damn, Ritt. Roasted. How am I supposed to come back from that? Remember when I started the program and I was talking about Thursday Night Football and how my expectations were absolutely nothing? I expected nothing from that game last night, and somehow I got even less than that in return. That's Ritt's segment. I expected absolutely nothing and got even less in return. See, the thing is, I could spend the next hour talking about how absolutely horrible that was and how horribly that went, and Ritt will still sit there like, I crushed it. I nailed it. I owned it. That was the greatest thing that's ever happened on this show. I could say, well, actually, Ritt, not really. That was actually horrible. I guarantee he will sit back there, lean back in that chair like, man, I am the greatest. I am the best thing ever. Dude, where do I start with that? All right, first, I can tell you and start right here. I love how Ritt is the self-appointed watchdog of the media. Ritt is the sports editor of some little college newspaper, flaming me, roasting me in a column, and essentially saying, this is what's wrong with the media today. Gerrit Ritt, media watchdog. That's solid. That's solid. I also love the premise behind, hey, boss, I don't want to get you mad at me and I don't want to get in trouble, but I got to do this because I've been outed. Now, on that point, Ritt, I do respect you. I respect that you came at me as a man and said, I want you to hear it from me. I don't want you to see it from somebody else. I've got nothing to hide. I'm not trying to get over on you. Man to man, I want you to hear it from me. I respect that, Ritt. I really do. And now that I've heard it from you, pack up your crap and hit the bricks and get out of here. You're fired, you old man.
Hit the bricks,
Not
pal,
only
and
are
beat
you
it.
the worst host we've had on this show, you're a straight liar, dude. You are not 50. There's no way you're 50. When you get up in here and say, I know you're not going to like me saying this, Jim, but hey, it's online. They already know. You're 58. I got no problem with it, man. I think I look pretty good for 58. I know I feel pretty damn good for 58. Dude, you are lying out your ass if you're telling me you're 8 years younger than me. So you put on that jersey, which adequately depicts your actual age. 78. Come on, man. It's one thing to roast me and dredge up some... Who was going to find that article, Ritt? Now everybody knows. Ritt's like, oh, somebody sent it to me. It's out there. It's out there. No, it's not. No, it is now. It is now because you put it out there. I know. You're probably thinking to yourself, man, the clones are going to love that. I just torched the old man. Not afraid. Fair enough. Not afraid. However, no longer employed. Hit the bricks, old man. Now you're done. This dude is the best. The media watchdog. Dude, that was a big hodgepodge of nothingness.
Hodgepodge of nothingness.
All right, so let me take a step back because I know what you're going to say. Rome, you're just bent because he roasted you. Yeah, not really. I think there have been 8 zillion articles written about me and Everett. So no, that's not what that is. I'm more bent that just sucked and didn't go anywhere. But. I know it's not easy. So let me try and think of something positive to say. Dude, as I mentioned, there has never been a human being in the history of the world worthy of having less confidence who has more. That's you. I'll give you that. Now, was there any point of the content that was funny or smart or dude, Stephen A. Smith was good. That was good. You pulling Stephen A. Smith, but that speaks more to how good of a guy he is rather than how smart and creative you are. But you did salvage something by getting him to do that. Now, dude, did you pay on Cameo to get him to do that? Is that what that was? Was that a birthday wish from Cameo? Was that the app?
Happy birthday.
Or did you do that the right way? My man, Stephen A. Smith, shares the same birthday as Ritt and I. Let me think. What good happened there? What was good in that segment that I can give him credit for? Like nothing. A hodgepodge of nothingness. Let's get some signing off, walking out of the studio. That was good. Us sanitizing what you did to the studio. That was good. Let me get some reaction. Maybe I'm not reading this correctly. This came in before the segment from no less an authority than Stucknut himself. Stucknut writes, give us an F, testicle head.
Testicle head.
And then after the segment, he wrote, Mr. Rome, it is time to take this segment out back like you did with the hack off. Ritt's self-aware. That's why we killed the hack off. Because the people that were in the hack off were so bad that they didn't know it. But then they became self-aware and wanted to be that person, and then it didn't work anymore. They were self-aware. That's Ritt. Before, Ritt would just kind of show up like fully oblivious and have no idea what he was or was not. But now he thinks he's a thing and that there's some sort of expectation. He's now self-aware, so it no longer works. Can I promise him another segment next year? Dude, I can't promise he's going to be allowed to finish this shift. This one. Maybe this guy's more understanding. Jim, kill me now. Train wreck, car crash, bloodbath, dry heaves, diarrhea, etc.
Diarrhea is the great equalizer.
So you didn't like it. It's Craig S. That's not a haiku, Ritt. That's like 10 different ways of saying you suck. Ritt, did you say you think you're going to live to 120? You already look it, Skeletor. Damn, bro. Mix in some vegetables. Dino in Vegas. This guy writes, hey, Rome, Pull the plug. Signed the suits at CBS Sports Network. Aaron in Iowa. Rome. Holy crap. At least Gerrit Ritt gave us some sound bites that completely sum up his segment. Can we get it in alarm form, Alvy? Cringe, bomb, cringe, bomb, bomb, cringe, bomb. That was horrible. Marshall in Orlando. At Ted in Albany weighs in. Quote, I mean, it's not a failure at all. Signed Ritt.
I mean, it's not failure at all.
Ken and S.A. Rome. A not-so-great segment for Gerrit Ritt. Don't worry. I have him booked for next year. Signed Grim Reaper. Hashtag diabetes.
Diabetes.
Haunted Horse. Quote, why, Signed Nancy Kerrigan listening to the Gerrit Ritt segment. Oh, why, Rome? Why, oh. It's true, Ritt. It is like you took a gigantic lead pipe and you smashed everybody listening on the kneecap. Jaime, damn. I thought the breaking news was that he was quitting. Too bad. War Ike quitting, getting fired, or dying. Wore his stupid little segment, having officially jumped the shark. Stephen S.A. It wasn't good. All right, it sucked. But it's not as bad as you're all making. Yeah, it is. It is as bad as you're all making it out to be. Ritt, I'm sorry, but dude, I just love this premise that this guy that I know sent me the column. Therefore, it was going to get out. It was going to get out, and I wanted to get out in front of it to make sure you heard it from me. Dude, it was not getting out. What, like your friend from back in the day, what? Was he going to blackmail you with that column? Yo, man. I'll release this. I'll let everybody know you lit your guy up when he and Everett got into it. I need 20 grand from you, Ritt, and I need it right now. You might want to take that up with the feds. That's blackmail. Nobody was going to find out, Ritt. You didn't need to go there. Now everybody knows. Sean Rohasek writes, this segment needs Axl Rose to say, time to die! Jamie in Green Bay. Credit to you for picking up the pieces of your career after Ritt went scorched earth in that article about you. It was hard, dude. It was hard. It was a dark, dark time for me. It was a very dark period. I did a lot of soul searching. I went through a lot of therapy. I talked to a lot of people who mattered most to me. We spent countless hours trying to dig my way out and climb back in and get back in the saddle after Ritt torched me like that in that college newspaper column from 28 years ago. But I did it. All right, there's more. There's more reaction, and we'll get there. Hey, you tell me, what do you think? How did Ritt do? Did he earn another shot a year from today, assuming he's still alive? And you know he won't be, but if he is, do we run it back again? Whatever you do back there, Ritt. Our idiot booker. Here I am on my 35th year, and we're talking, hey, Lynn, we're talking about the idiot booker. We're talking about that idiot bald eagle back there. He's still here. What's up? Welcome back. I am Jim Rome. Happy birthday to Ritt. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to Stephen A. Smith. Happy birthday to Thomas Dolby. Happy birthday to Jared Goff. All right, so if you're just now joining us, or maybe you've been listening and you want to know what the hell that old guy was doing on the radio, are they just giving out syndicated radio jobs now to anybody? No. That's just something we do once a year because of why. I mean, I've referenced this many times. Because I hired this guy without knowing that we had the same birthday. Oh, and shock of all shocks, I hired this guy without knowing that he roasted me back in the day. In that extremely unkind column that he wrote for the Charlotte City College Times or wherever you went to school, Ritt. Anyway, it's out there now. And his argument was, hey, I want you to hear it from me. You got to hear it from me. I don't want you stumbling across that when it surely goes viral. Because once that thing hits the dark web or even the internet, everybody will have it. And then I will be viral. So I want you to hear it from me. Good thinking, Ritt. All right, so I'm still getting reaction. Let me read through some more reaction. This guy writes, Danny writes, you're asking if Ritt should run it back next year. Hell yeah. Who doesn't love a train wreck? All right, so there's your one vote. There is a vote. He's voting for a train wreck, but there's a vote. Canadian Hitman, quote, Ward Jim, packing your office during this segment. Hashtag Chris Everett.
Pack your bags.
Romy, we now understand what Jarrett Jones meant when he said he hopes to have a quarterback controversy with Dak out. This is because we now have a host controversy here at CBS. Much like sex, Father Time, diarrhea, and Cooper Rush, Ritt is undefeated when hosting. Shut it down. Let's go home. Sincerely, the suits at CBS. The pendulum is swinging back. Ritt does have fans. A host controversy is tremendous. You got to admit, Ritt is undefeated. It's like Ritt just showed up in here and went for 4 touchdowns, 500 yards passing. I don't know if we can give that job back to Rome. I don't know. This guy sees it a little bit differently. At J Live, quote, worst segment ever. War never again. Turtleneck Tan Man, quote, Ritt is going senile. He just said people that are eating healthy are dying at a higher rate than diabetics like him. Ritt, take your unhealthy clown ass to the doctor for a cognitive abilities evaluation. Mario and SF. This guy writes, Ritt is a natural at this. Love it. Walt in Miami Beach. There's more. Mount Baker James, congratulations on your win, Ritt. Will you be back next year to give it another try? Signed, tennis reporter gal.
And I would like to know, how do you feel after the game and if you're ready to give it another try?
I lost, by the way.
Yeah, I know, but it's a win anyway.
Hey, Jim, what was that? If Ritt makes it to next year, think about not allowing him to be a guest host. I now know that the only thing that held that show together last year was Thomas Dolby. That was terrible. Jim in Temecula. Here's my favorite one. At Norton RVA writes, the Ritt Show is proof that Jim Rome is one sick, twisted mofo. That's the best one yet. And Juan Rivera is in. Dear Jim, the Gerrit Ritt Show is the Thursday night football of the jungle. Yeah, except we only do it once a year. They do it every single Thursday. But you're right. Like I said, my expectations, I had no expectations for last night's football game. And yet they were somehow even worse than that. Same with Ritt. Man, Ritt was so great. And he did a really good job of making sure and keeping that under wraps that he was going to drop that bomb on me. Roasted! Waiting for the Ritt segment was like having all the presents in front of you on Christmas morning only to get socks and underwear and no toys. Signed Matt in Placentia. They're all coming. They just keep coming. Jim, Ike's segment was beyond awful. It was downright disturbing. Be kind, do the right thing, and take that 50-year-old pooch out of its misery. Jim in Tucson, and occasionally Omaha. I'm trying to get to the phones, but the tweets just keep coming. Like, it's cruel and inhumane for me to run his senile ass out here. Because he's senile, he doesn't know. It's not that he's self-aware. It's that, well, frankly, it's like Alzheimer's. He just, it's like Parkinson's. I'm not making light of it. Like he doesn't know. Neil in Milwaukee. Stop hating on Ritt. He is an acquired taste. Signed black licorice, blue sapphire, and candy corn. All those things are not acquired taste. Those are all good. You know, Ritt, you do create content. Your content is ass. But you create content by inspiring reaction to your ass content. Ritt, you just got to stop talking, man. I let you talk for 15 minutes. He's trying to engage me right now and convince me that actually went really well for him. I'm here to tell you, Ritt, it went terribly for you. But it's going pretty well for me, even though you did roast me back in the day as the editor of the Charlotte Junior High School newspaper. Jim, listening to that Ritt segment was the hardest thing I've had to endure on October 14th. Signed, Baby Jessica. You notice how I conveniently never, ever mention that? And it's not because I forget. Alvin, that sounds like the sound of somebody dropping down a well. That's not classy. At Psycho Kitty Dave, that was the Woodstock 99 of radio segments. Untrue. I didn't attend Woodstock 99, but the doc is ionic. So I have favorable impressions of Woodstock 99. It looks like the most disgusting thing ever, but I didn't go. So I actually like it. Here's some reaction. When we come back. Abra Rome Lincoln. Gerrit Ritt. Had a full year to prepare for 15 minutes, and he came with that. Hey, Rott. Go back to saying phrases like wise guy and why I oughta. Eating supper at 3 p.m. and playing jacks with Ethel at the nursing home. V in the fee. Wore people with hairlines. That's the one thing I do not blame him for. He can't help that. That's not his fault. Why I oughta? You're a real wise guy. Why I oughta? How about a good knuckle sandwich?
I hear somebody's birthday today.
So who knows what'll happen? All I know is, though, that I'm out of here today, baby.
Good night now!
Maybe literally and figuratively. But he made it. And we had Ritt. The Ritt Show. Happy birthday, old man. See you Monday. We're out.